You have been watching and listening live in Louisville, Kentucky, where Rand Paul is announcing his candidacy for the 2016 president of the United States. He has decided to go ahead and make it public, and he hit a lot of the same points that we have heard from him over the last several months. Let's go ahead and get some immediate reaction right now. Let's welcome in from New York our Newsmax contributor, John Fund, and also let us welcome in from the Weekly Standard, Mark Hemingway. Gentlemen, thanks a lot for joining us and sticking around and listening to what we have heard. John, to you, first of all, it would seem as if he hit a lot of the key points here, of course, talking about haters of mankind, haters of America. But did Rand Paul really say anything new thus far?
I think the packaging was new. Rand Paul knew that he was going to be hit very much from other candidates based on his reluctance to intervene abroad, expressed in previous speeches. So he started out by saying, I want a defense second to none, but I do not believe that a government that can't accomplish key goals domestically can nation build abroad. That's the best possible formulation he could make. He's not arguing against American intervention. He's arguing against the kind of nation building that we saw in Iraq and Afghanistan. Obviously, his opponents will say, well, what are you exactly going to do against ISIS? What are you exactly going to do against the terrorists? But this is a very good packaging of his message, and obviously the anti-foreign aid elements are wonderfully popular with the Republican base.
Mark, one of the things that struck me immediately, and it comes to the packaging that John talked about, and I wrote this down, I will do whatever it takes to protect America from these haters of mankind. Right there is the whole isolationist issue. A lot of the hawks then will come out of the woodwork and say that he's not ready for the military, that he's not the right guy. So, in effect, he hit that one right point that needed to be said to take down some of his major detractors, did he not?
He did. He's very shrewd in the sense that he knows that this is a big political weakness for him, and he's, smartly modulated his message in response. He's trying to, maintain a sort of philosophical consistency with his previous positions that maybe point toward a kind of non-interventionism, but at the same time assure people that he's not going to be Barack Obama. He doesn't believe in a weak America, and I think he's so far he's doing a very good job of hitting the sweet spot there. But we'll have to see again what his specific foreign policy proposals are and specific military funding proposals are before we can really make any judgment about that. But as a matter of political rhetoric, I think he's done well.
Well, let's hit that then, Mark, because that's the point. Political rhetoric, and again, this is not to his detriment here, but Rand Paul certainly is hitting all the marks here today. It's what you need. You're not going to hear someone come out and give certain specifics at this point, are you?
No, you're not. I will say this. I mean, compared to Ted Cruz's rollout recently, this was much better stage managed. It's much better political theater. The fact that he was introduced by a number of women and minorities, I mean, he's really pushing this message of expanding the Republican base, which even if you're not a Rand Paul supporter among Republicans, you have to look favorably upon what he's trying to do in that respect. And, hopefully that redounds to the whole party's benefit, even if you don't support Rand Paul.
John, how do you think the Republican Party is going to react? Because they know that Rand Paul has talked many, many times before about libertarianism, about bringing that into the party. So there will be under him some sort of sea change, if you will. How's that going to sit with the old guard?
Well, what Rand Paul is trying to articulate is something that's sort of libertarian republicanism. He's trying to distinguish himself from the pure 100% proof product of his father. And obviously, there are people who don't want that mixture. On the other hand, there are a lot of people who look at the past 12 years and they say, what has the establishment Republican leadership in Washington done for us? And I think he has a good niche in the party. Clearly, he is a big underdog to get the nomination, but we've seen over and over again, starting with Barry Goldwater, how presidential candidates who didn't go all the way to the White House nonetheless shaped and changed their party and moved it in the direction that they wanted. So I think Rand Paul obviously wants to be president. I also think he wants to influence his party short of that.
Only got a few seconds left here. 15 seconds to you, John. Do you think Democrats will ever fear Rand Paul?
Well, they fear his outreach, because he has clearly demonstrated an ability to speak to young people. Young people, of course, don't vote in large numbers. On the other hand, Obama won them 2-1. That's how he won the White House in 2008. If Rand Paul or someone like Rand Paul, like a Marco Rubio, were able to steal a bunch of young people, that would make it much more difficult for the Democrats to keep the White House.
20 seconds left. Same question to you, Mark Hemingway.
Yeah, I think John really hit the nail on the head. I mean, Rand Paul he wants to reinvent the wheel for Republicans. So far a lot of the conventional horse race coverage is saying, well, he doesn't have a path to the nomination. Well, he's trying to make his own path, which is something that Barack Obama did in 2008. He didn't have a conventional base of support, according to blue collar whites and other Democratic voters, but he went ahead and forged his own path with new demographics, and I think that Rand Paul is looking to do the same thing, and to underestimate his ability to do that this early on would be a big mistake.
Here we go. Mark Hemingway, John Fund, thank you so much for joining us, gentlemen. We appreciate your comments. Rand Paul's in. MidPoint continues.